Hey guys, it's Brian here, and welcome back to the review for the TheH0RR0Rman's Slashback Challenge. And the theme that Joe the Horror Man has set for this week is titled Shot on Video Slashers. And the film I chose to review this week is 100 Tears. This is a 2007 shot on video slasher film. Now, this one doesn't really have much of a plot to it. This film centers on a serial killer that's named Teardrop Killer, and he's dressed up as a clown and he carries an oversized meat cleaver. And he's named this because at every crime scene he leaves one bloody teardrop painting, or not painting, but drawing on every crime scene wall. And there's these two reporters that are, they work for this National Enquirer type newspaper, and they decide that they got tired of doing UFO type stories, and they decide to start investigating the teardrop killer. So that's pretty much the plot for this movie. This movie has a lot of negatives, but it has two things going for it, and that is one, that it has a high body count, and two, that most of the kills are pretty gory. And although there's varying degrees of effectiveness based on the special makeup effects from scene to scene, they really vary. Some of them are quite passable, and other ones look really cheap. But it kind of adds to the charm of the movie. This one does have a lot of negatives, though. First up, the pacing is way off. There's scenes that go on for way too long, and I think they're trying to make the film play better, so they interspersed a lot of exposition scenes in the middle of the kill sequences. And at first it threw me off. Like, the first kill sequence takes place at a halfway house, and at first I thought it was going to be like a flashback. There's a huge slaughter where everybody in this halfway house gets murdered, and it's probably the best sequence in the whole movie. But at the same time, it keeps cutting back to the two reporters that are talking about the killer. So at first I thought it was a flashback, but it was really happening as they were talking. There's also another killer that has like a connection to the teardrop killer that's running to kill people as well. So there's sequences of that are interspliced as well, like randomly. Like, this is like the most random slasher film that I've seen in a long time. So although this film was released in 2007, I think it was filmed a lot earlier, because the cameras they used appear to be from the late 90s and early 2000s. They're digital video cameras. And it's funny because I think they only had two cameras, and I think one of the cameras was broken because on half the shots there's like a weird, all these anomalies with the pictures, all these little specks all over the picture. And I think that the camera got broken and it got fixed, but it never was quite 100%, and they used it anyways, which was kind of amusing. Um, Another problem with this film is the pacing. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the scenes go on for way too long. They should end when they keep. I think they're trying to pad out the running time, but I think with this film, less would have been more. Like, this is a 90-minute movie, and I think it would have been better had they just made it like 70 minutes. I think it would have played a lot better, because they really didn't have the budget to do what they needed to do properly. This film should have took place at either like a carnival or an abandoned warehouse, and they had like an abandoned warehouse, but they only used it sparingly, like towards the end of the film, and they didn't really use it enough. I don't think they only really had a couple rooms, or maybe it was the set they used. I don't know, because the film would have been better then. But I think, I don't know. Like, this is a DIY type slasher film, so I can't really complain about it. Now, this is the original cut of this movie. I know this film was re-edited, re-released a few years ago, so I don't know if that version plays better. If so, if somebody has that version, let me know. This film I still recommend, though. This one's a good film to watch with your buddies, have some beers and stuff like that. But it's not really a classically good film, though, even on the low budget standards. Like, it's no Evil Dead or anything like that. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. That's my review. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll talk to you all later.